Hi again guys, I'm going to keep this snappy because my battery's dying and that's all I have for the weekend, so I'll have to show you the rest or keep you posted when I get back to Cardiff. Probably make weekly updates on the Zulu War Project. Here's the camp, so a section of it is Anglo-Zulu, you could say. The pride and joy of my collection so far are actually the Empress miniatures and Foundry cavalry that I have. In front of you you've actually got two small squadrons of the Natal Carbineers. I do prefer the Empress miniatures ones, they're just stunning. Foundry are nice though, they are nice. They're still actually, it's interesting, Foundry are old figures, but they're actually quite dear, you know, they're very expensive. I think they should consider reducing their prices. But then, you know, back in the day they actually had to pay for all the sculpting and stuff, so I don't know if they can afford to do that. I think they'd be more successful if they reduced their pack prices. Then they get these Christmas offers and stuff. So I don't know about that. They are nice, they're chunky. So here's one of them. Sorry about the lighting and the focus. Don't know if I can, bear with me if I try and improve that. I do want you to see these. Aha! Now this might be possible. I hope that's a little bit better. Just so we've got some light on top of us. These are my pride and joy, these Carbineers. Some of their spikes came broken, so I actually got a bit of metal scrap and just created, I think it's this guy that has it, a spike frame, and it actually worked out quite fine because the metal scrap is so well, fine. It came out very nicely, if that makes sense. I've glued just a piece of flash onto his helmet and it actually makes quite a good spike. My favourite thing about Empress miniatures is how good the faces are without being, they're not as realistically proportioned as the Perry ones, so they're still in that sort of comfortable ground of being a joy to paint. And see if this works as well. See if that focuses, maybe not. Yeah, so the Empress miniatures are between the larger, like, Redoubt ones and the finer Perry. I don't think I will actually go Perry for the Zulu War. I could have. If Emperor miniatures didn't exist, I would have had to go Perry. But because Empress, sorry, fill that void, I just don't think I'll ever venture into the Perry ones because they're different scale and stuff. Some people have discussed that at length. Is it Ralph that has a Redoubt collection of Zulu War? I can't remember now. I know someone on YouTube has a stunning collection of, well, I'm sure many of you have Zulu War collections. Really happy with these. That's about it, folks. I've got some guys marching there. Again, the Empress metals. Got a standard bearer who I'd like to make a flag for. And there's this guy who's using the Hook Heroes of Volkstrift model, but with a head swap. I've actually given my Heroes of Volkstrift to a friend for his birthday. Is that because we're zoomed in? I was struggling with the zoom, unfortunately. Might be it. Give it a magic tap. No, I don't think that's coming out well for us. Oh well. Yeah, that's about it, folks. I've also got some Natal native contingent. which are yet to be finished. I thought they are important to include, because think of all the black troops that died at Isandlwana. It wasn't an affair. The white troops get all the glory, but there was so many black auxiliaries, and I think that's something that we can look into when we're doing the Zulu War. Is always to remember the troops that are not the regulars. So if you're doing the Napoleonic Wars, do the Italians, the Swiss, the Portuguese, Spanish that are fighting in France's armies, the Germans, all these small duchies. It's an opportunity to paint something different. So I think that's the message there. Is there anything I can show you before I finish now? I suppose my favourite figure of the bunch has to be probably him at the moment. I hope he can focus for us. Camera seems to be struggling with it, but yeah, just about. There we are. He's my favourite so far, and as you can see, you can just see on his tunic there now is the sheen of the gloss. So today I'm going to mat everything down and crack on with some basing, pack everything up to go to Cardiff, and if any of you are interested in a Zulu War game, it doesn't have to be during January. We can do it any time this term, pretty much, any evening in the week, or probably weekends is good for you if you can make it down. I know it's a trip to go to Cardiff, but that'd be really good fun actually. I would play Black Powder if that's what you're comfortable with. I haven't done that much of it. I'm most comfortable with the Men Who Would Be Kings rules, and that's what my collection is based for. But I'm pretty easy like that. I can as long as we're chucking dice and we get to put the figures on the table. I think that's what's important at the end of the day. But I'll just leave you with that scene, folks. That's the Zulus coming through. Just hide away the unpainted miniatures. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, folks, and I do have a few more to paint up. There's a whole slew of guys on sprues still left to do for the plastics, just because I prefer doing the metals, but I've also got some foundry figures to do. These are the Highlanders for the Zulu War, the British Highlanders. I believe these are also Zulu War Highlanders. I also am a bit confused because I have some Afghan War stuff as well. So these are British Highlanders. But yeah, that's about it, folks. Yeah, I could, having said that, they might be the Afghan War Highlanders. I'll have to double check that. That's about it. I've got one. I have been after some boars, but I've got one boar, just in camp with a log. And I do actually have a little campfire. So sorry if I can't curb my enthusiasm for this project. It's the big one. It's the one I'm going to be spending years and years and years on. Hopefully until I'm old and grey I'm going to have this project, and it's going to be awesome. But yeah, that's about it, folks. I'll catch up with you later. Ta-da!